So your ability to refuel after weighing should dictate your strategy for making weight when it comes to BJJ competitions. So this previous weekend, it was the IBJJF Masters European Championships. And once again, I saw a whole plethora of different ways in people were using to make weight and then refuel. And a common mistake that I saw a lot was people assuming that they had time to eat and drink a large amount after they have weighed in, which is just not a thing when it comes to IBJJF. For those that don't know, when you do IBJJF competitions, you will weigh in and then you will go to the bullpen and start warming up for your fights. You will be allowed to take a bottle of water with you. You do not have time and you cannot eat food, drink, have a couple of hours before you compete so you can rehydrate, etc. This is a mistake that a lot of people make because they're used to doing local level comps where, you know, if it's in the UK, if it's something like Empire, etc., then they have the ability to go make weight and then have hours before they compete. This allows them to then eat, drink, make sure they're adequately fueled, rehydrated, etc. before they compete, providing they haven't done a really, really stupid cut. Another one is things like NAGA and things like that, where you can weigh in day before, where you do have a full amount of time to fully rehydrate, etc., and you can probably cut weight, same as some body shows. But when it comes to the IBJJF, you do not have that. So what you need to be doing when you are coming into these comps is you need to look at what is the period of time from when I weigh in to when I compete. What is the schedule going to be like? Am I allowed to turn up at 9 AM when the doors open, weigh in, get my weight recorded, and then not compete till, you know, mid to late afternoon? Or am I literally required to be on weight and then go fight? If it's the first one, if you have a few hours between weighing in and competing, then you can rehydrate to an extent. You still don't want to be completely dehydrated, and then also put fuel into the system, you know, making sure you've got adequate food, adequate carbohydrates, adequate fluid levels, all that kind of good stuff. However, if it's the IBJJF and you are weighing in and then going, you are not refueling, you are not putting fuel in your system, and you are not like hydrating to any kind of like level, or rehydrating, shall I say, to any kind of level. This is the mistake that so many people make because they come into IBJJF competitions really depleted. So what do you do? When it comes to IBJJF, what you have to do is diet down sufficiently so that on the morning of, you know exactly how much of a leeway you've got to have food, have water, make sure that you are completely hydrated. This is a big one. And again, have fuel in your system, and then still be able to go make weight and then compete with just taking water to the bowl. If it's local comps and things like that, then you do have a little bit of leeway, so you still can, you know, not eat on the morning, not drink as much on the morning, but still, you still cannot be like crazily depleted, because if you are, you are just not going to get the ability to be able to make that food up, make that water up, and you're going to basically just screw up your entire competition. The amount of people that I speak to who, when they're finishing comps and they come off the mat and, you know, they come into my DMs or ask me a question and they go, look, I just felt really drained. I felt like I had no like pop, no explosiveness. I just felt as though I wasn't myself out there. I couldn't replicate the performances that I had in training. And that is because you are attempting to replicate training performance in a fed and hydrated state while being dehydrated and underfueled. It's stupid. It's just not going to happen. So you need to be a bit calculated when you do it. Don't forget that making weight is just half the battle. Refueling is the other half, and if you do not have time to refuel, then you need to make sure that is done prior. If you, and I've posted about this quite a bit on social media, getting made plans from ChatGPT, from blogs, from articles, from YouTube videos, etc. that basically says this is exactly what you're supposed to be eating and when, this is exactly how you're supposed to be refueling. Don't do it. It's trash. Like, it's a good framework to start from, but any athlete that I work with will tell you how often we check in fight week. We check in every single day, and then a few days leading up to it, we check in every few hours. And on fight day, it's every few hours. It just has to be that way. If you've got any specific questions about the different kind of organisations you're competing in, best strategies to use, any kind of problems that you run into and stuff like that, there's a link in the description for free evaluations. I'll take a look at everything, let me know anything you need, and I will come back to you with a video on how I would lay it out for you. Thanks again.